Hey my dudes, my name is Cecilia, and in 2 days I turn 33 years old, and of course, since it's my birthday, we have to celebrate with cake. I love celebrating my birthday, and I love cake. So I have been thinking about my birthday cake for literal months right now. I'm definitely one of those celebrate your birthday month, birthday week, not just your birthday type of people. And because cake is one of my big passions in life, you can imagine that this is something that I think about a lot. So I have a vision for this year. In America, there is a dessert called like a dirt cup, and it's like a kid's dessert kind of. You serve it at birthday parties or you like make it as like an activity at day camp. But essentially it is chocolate pudding, and then you crush up Oreos and you put that on top, and that's the dirt. And then you just take gummy worms and you stick gummy worms out of it, and you have a dirt cup. I think it's delicious. And since I have a spring birthday, I always have kind of like a floral theme, like flowers and just kind of like bright colors for my birthday party.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
So this year I was thinking about florals, and I was thinking about dirt cups. And then I was thinking about how every single year I have a carrot cake. Every single year. Carrot cake is my favorite flavor of cake. But I've been really into chocolate cake lately. And I was like, well, do I break the tradition? Do I break the mold? Do I do a chocolate cake or do I do a carrot cake? Do I do a chocolate cake? Do I do a carrot cake? And I was like, well, why don't I just make a cocoa carrot cake? So that's what we're going to do. We are going to do a cocoa carrot cake with layers of chocolate namelaka. There's going to be a brown butter Swiss meringue buttercream, because that's the best type of buttercream. 2 different kinds of dirt. And then to top it all off, we're gonna be making our own gummy worms. Right? It's gonna be so good. Let's get into it. Today is day 1 because this cake is going to take us 3 days to make, and we are going to get started with the cake itself. First things first, I brushed the cake pans with pan release, which is an equal parts mixture of oil, butter, and cocoa powder. Each pan got both pan release and a circle of parchment because I absolutely don't want my cakes to stick. I simply won't have it. While the cakes were baking, I popped together a cocoa crumble. This will be one of the 2 dirts on the cake. It's basically a cookie dough, and could I have mixed this in one of my 2 stand mixers? Yeah, for sure. But it was way more fun to do by hand. Into the fridge we go. The first round of cakes are still in the oven, so really quickly we're gonna pop together the brown butter for tomorrow's brown butter Swiss meringue buttercream. But you wanna do the brown butter, at least a couple hours ahead of time. It just needs to cool. You can't pour it into the buttercream hot. So you have to find that time somehow. And for us, that time is right now. I like to make brown butter hot and fast. All the brown butter goes into the pan on high heat, and once that's melted, in goes milk powder. The stuff that gets toasted in brown butter is the milk solids, so by adding more milk powder, we are adding more of the good stuff. Once it's a nice rich brown, you turn the stove off and keep whisking to release some of the heat. Perfect timing. As soon as I finish this, these 2 are done, and now the other one is gonna go in the oven, and we can just keep on keeping on. We want these guys to cool, and we'll deal with them later. And now this brown butter is no longer screaming hot, just like really freaking warm. So we can put it in a little container. And all of this brown goodness, that's the good stuff. That's what we want. So make sure you really scrape your pan. And this can just sit out and like cool at room temperature because we want it to re-solidify. We don't want it to be liquid, but we also don't want it to be like refrigerator cold. So if you wanted to speed up the chilling process, you could put it in the fridge, but we don't want to add this to the buttercream cold. It needs to be like softened butter, room temperature butter. And that's why I do it the day before, so it has a nice long 24 hours to re-solidify. Now, the question is, what else do we have left to do today? Brown butter's done, cakes are done, they just need to cool, and then we'll put those away. We've done the crumble. Namelaka and gummy worms. Let's work on those. These guys are all cool, and I'm gonna be extra lazy today, actually. Now, should I wrap these properly, tightly in plastic? Yes. Are they gonna be good enough with me just wrapping the top with plastic wrap? Also, yes. It's less plastic. It's better for the environment. Actually, what would be better for the environment is for me to not use single-use plastic at all. But we all gotta have our vices and problems, right? I could be like a murderer, right? And instead I use a little bit too much single-use plastic. I need to work on it, but you know, I'm not killing people. So those two are equal, right?
Namelaka is more similar to ganache than it is to pudding. Pudding gets its texture from cooking a starch like cornstarch or flour, and namelaka gets its texture from cream. A ganache would be just chocolate and cream, but this is a namelaka because the chocolate is first emulsified with warm milk and then cold cream is added.
This needs to sit in the fridge overnight. The very last thing we have to do today is gummy worms, and of all the parts of the cake, like I'm excited to eat the cake, but I'm so excited for these gummy worms. I got this silicone like gummy worm mold. I just Googled this. This is not from like any particular brand or anything. I just recently got this and they're so cute, you guys. I'm so excited about them. For whatever reason, the designer decided that it was really important for these worms to have really big eyeballs. Why do they have those? I love them so much. And then I was discussing with Axel, my fiance, yesterday about what flavor I wanted to make these. And I was like, well, I want it to be strawberry and like mango or strawberry pineapple. Like what kind of frozen fruit do we have in the house? He was like, oh, we have, strawberry, mango, whatever. And he was like, oh, that sounds like such a good flavor combination. And I was like, yes, but I'm really hopeful that the red and the yellow will combine. And I really want these worms to be like worm colored, like that kind of like fleshy pink. So we'll see what color we get. We've scaled out for, I think the fruit combination right now is strawberry, pineapple, mango, because that was like the last little bits of frozen fruit that we had in the freezer. We're gonna see. I'm really excited. I've made these jellies like a million times, but never with this mold and never with this fruit combo. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I actually misremembered the fruit. It's raspberry and pineapple, no mango, no strawberry, but I think it's still going to be really delicious and hopefully have that like fleshy color. Anyways, the thing that makes these guys jellies is lots of gelatin, right? So I prefer to use sheet gelatin. It's just what's more commonly available to me, and I think it's easy to use. The only key with sheet gelatin is that you need to hydrate it in cold water. Even in like warm water, the gelatin will start to like melt instead of just hydrate. So it's always just like best practice to use ice water. I don't have any ice, so I'm using cold water. I put the sheets in one at a time because that way it's like completely coated in water, and that way you don't get any like hard spots because it hasn't like fully hydrated correctly or whatever. Let that hydrate. And now we can make gummy worms.
Water, sugar, and glucose go into a pot and get brought to a boil. At 140 degrees Celsius, in goes the fruit puree and citric acid, and you gotta stir like crazy. That gets taken to 122 degrees Celsius. Immediately, the bloom gelatin gets thrown in, stir, and then pour. You gotta move fast.
That was way harder than anticipated. I think one, because the batch size was so small, and then two, I don't know, like I have a sauce gun and it would have made it like really easy to like fill all of these like really thin, small molds. But I was like, it's in the basement, I'll just use my little pitcher guy, and then that worked terribly. Fortunately, I somewhat kind of sort of know what I'm doing and know that I can always just like pour it out. And I think like using the offset like worked. My edges might be a little bit on the messy side, but you know what? It's my birthday cake for me. I no longer work in restaurants. I no longer work in fine dining. And if it isn't completely perfect, that's okay. It's okay. I'm fine with it. You're fine with it. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me even a little bit at all. It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. I'm very excited about these still. But that was our last thing to do on this here day one. Well, I'm going to be continuing to work because I never stop working. But for you guys, it's going to be day two. It's day two. We don't have a lot on our to-do list today, which we love. That's why I split it up over 3 days. Could I do all of this in 2 days, potentially even 1 day? Yes. But that would make me stressed out, and it's my birthday. I don't want to be stressed out. So let's just get started on today. The list is pretty easy. We're going to get started with some dirt. As I think I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're going to have 2 types of dirt on this cake. One is going to be a cocoa crumble, which we made the dough yesterday, and then the most classic of all cookie dirts, crushed Oreos. And you're thinking to yourself, Cecilia, in a world where you make your own gummy worms, are you not also gonna make your own Oreos? Is this not maybe a little lazy? And here's the thing, you guys. I would make my own Oreos, but what gives Oreo that Oreo flavor is black cocoa, and I don't know where to get that in Sweden. I don't actually know if it's hard to get that here. I just have literally never even tried even a little bit, not even a quick precursory Google search. I haven't even done that. So this is my one like convenience thing. Literally, I'm making everything else for this cake, so I think you guys can calm down, okay? You don't need to freak out at me so much about not having everything be homemade. I think it's okay for my own birthday that I get one convenient thing. Plus, fun secret fact, I love Oreos. And now you know more about me. Let's get started on these crumbles. How many times am I gonna say let's get started before we like actually get started on anything?
You can chop the crumble door or, crumble it with your hands if you want to, but I love to grate it on a box grater. It makes like the perfect crumble texture. I originally had it on the smaller tray, but was worried about it baking into one big clump, so I switched to the larger tray and that was much better. While the crumble baked, I crushed the Oreos. No special technique here, just Oreos in a bag, beaten with a rolling pin. Fast and easy.
I think they got a little dark, unfortunately. I was fussing around with the Oreos. The timer went off and I smelled them, like this crumble. And I was still like trying to like put the Oreos away and then like wipe down and like stuff. And so in the like extra 45 seconds to a minute that took me, I think these like overbaked. And I think they might be fine, but they definitely feel like on the edge. And I have that little bit of crumble left. So we're just gonna like do the whole thing over again and then not do anything while they're baking. We're just gonna be like paying attention. Sometimes it'd be like that, but the universe works in mysterious ways. I have that extra piece of crumble. I don't have to make it all over again. Did it perfectly this time. This is like a happy brown, not a sad brown like the other one. Before, I put it in the oven for like 5 minutes plus that one accidental extra minute, and this time it's been in the oven for literally like 3 minutes. Huge difference. Huge. After the gummy worms cooled last night, I put them in the freezer. I find this to be the easiest way to get them out of the silicone molds. The caveat being you have to work a little bit on the fast side, especially in a shape like this where they're gonna come up to room temperature like super fast. They're so cute. Oh, okay. So I wish that they were a little bit more on that like wormy flesh colored side. Like these are very much like red. It's a little hard to see because my camera won't come into focus, but the eyeballs are just too cute. I am obsessed. Oh, they're super sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Now it's important to do these ahead of time because if you're not putting them in sugar, they need to like dry on the outside and that can take like 24 to 48 hours. So these guys are gonna sit outside at room temperature and we really just want their skin to get like not tacky. And it does take a minute, but like it's candy. These will now last for, I don't know, until kingdom come basically. Before I could put the cake together, I had to make the brown butter SMBC. Egg white and sugar get whisked together in the bowl of the stand mixer. The bowl is then placed over a pot of boiling water and whisked continuously. As soon as I feel that it's warm and all the sugar crystals have dissolved, it's off the pot and onto the machine. Once the meringue is fully whipped and no longer hot, I can start to add in the butter bit by bit. Once all the butter is incorporated, in goes the brown butter and a bit of salt. It's just creamy, dreamy, beautiful, and I love it. All right, boys and girls, let's build this cake. Namelaka. Bong, 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 bong.
We look to the mountains. We don't care if it's only a dream. Nothing is really what it seems anyway. Now little by little, in the twilight's gentle flow, in the dance of fading light we grow. You get fooled by anyone so easily. I'm lost. You say it's so
This cake is done for today. I want it to sit in the fridge. I want the namelaka to kind of meld with the cake, all those flavors to meld with each other. I want the Swiss meringue buttercream to get like hard on the outside. It's just gonna make my decorating tomorrow so much easier. Now, I could have done this entire process on party day and just let it sit in the fridge for like half an hour, or because it's a dirt cake and it's gonna get covered with stuff, I also could have just like built this entire thing right before the party, and like because it's supposed to look like organic and stuff, it would be okay if it wasn't like perfectly smooth sides and blah blah blah. But I'm having a brunch. I don't want to like stress and hustle in the hours before the brunch. So it's just easier for me to make it the day before, continue with party prep, and then we'll have a very chill and easy day tomorrow. It's party day. Let's decorate this cake. I want something to put it on so it's higher. Work smarter, not harder. Are you gonna move around? I have to find the worst towel, the most beat up and raggedy towel we own. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Okay, cool. Let's work with that. I have the leftover buttercream from yesterday. And now normally I would like heat this up so that it was a little bit smoother, more glossy, but we're gonna be covering this entire thing in crumbs anyways, so I kind of like don't care. Like it's not like split, it's emulsified. I would probably just spend a little bit more time knocking out all the air bubbles, making it really smooth, but also because of the brown butter, it's not gonna be super smooth anyways, so like, it's fine. See? I'm gonna call that's smooth enough, you know? All right, let's get into it. Does that look good? I think so. I'm not gonna worry too much about messy edges and messy sides because, as I keep telling myself, it's gonna get covered up. I actually didn't need to clean up this down here. I just couldn't help myself. I've got all my dirts for the day. These are the two we made yesterday, Oreo and the cocoa crumble. And then after all of that drama with the burned crumble, I actually like tasted it and it didn't even taste burnt. It just tasted toasted. So it's actually fine. We're gonna use it. This is why you don't just rely on your sense of smell or your eyeballs. You also have to rely on your taste buds. What? You have to taste things when you're cooking? Crazy. I also have some cocoa nibs that I think would also look really nice and gravelly. My main question is, do I mix them all together and put them on the sides? Or alternatively, do I do like one clumpy here and then a clumpy of this over here and then a clumpy of that over? So it's more like, you know? I'm gonna try that first and we'll see what happens. What happens? Who knows? I feel like I'm gonna make a mess. That's what I feel. Ooh, this is really hard now. That's what I get for using a cold cake. Okay, we're gonna go like this. I'm gonna try something. We're experimenting. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Like that. And then we take some dirt and we go dart. Dirt. Oh my God, that really looks like dirt. Okay, cool. You guys don't know this, or maybe you do, but if you don't know this about me, I hate being messy. Like I hate having my hands be sticky. So this is gonna be a real sensory challenge for me, but we're gonna do our best because I think it's gonna be beautiful at the end. We're gonna go like this, swooshy, swooshy, swoosh. Okay, maybe they need to be like mixed together. Oh my gosh, oh my God, it's so messy. I love it, but I hate it. Oh yeah, that's very dirt-like. Okay, think you mixed up two different types of loam. Wow, the cocoa nibs really look like rocks in there. Okay, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. A little bit more. Not too much, they're expensive. It's okay. This is so messy, it's killing me, but also I have to remind myself that like, is that not what dirt is, you know? Okay, oh my God, and others. Now it's getting on the floor. God, kill me. Patch, well, it's a lot of frosting. I did not need that. Okay. I love it. Let's clean up a little bit. I'm thinking some grass on top. So I'm gonna go make some grass somehow. I've taken the rest and I've mixed it into this green color. I think that's gonna be a really good green on there. Just gonna have to find out. There are these piping tips you can get that are just like a bunch of like holes, like it's like round and there's a bunch of like holes coming out of it. I don't have one of those, and that would probably be the best to get that like grass texture I'm thinking of. But I do have this like Russian piping tip. Looks like this. And now this is supposed to be for like to make a flower, but I'm hoping if I do like enough, like all over the place, that it will like look like grass. We'll see. Who knows what will happen. I'm so glad this is supposed to look like messy and grass-like. Okay, so this is the point you're looking at me and you're like, I'm not a believer. Cecilia, what is this? Do you know how to pipe frosting? Who are you? What are you doing? But the thing with art, I have learned, because both of my parents are artists, is there is always, always, always a time in the project where you go, what? That's bad. And I'm a little bit at this point right now with this guy, but this is the part where it is most important to have faith and keep going. And remember that more is more. You just gotta, and it'll all work out. It's worm time. Oop, worm on the move, worm on the move. Next up, to really get into the garden theme, I bought in some herbs and flowers from Cube Greens here in Stockholm. I love Cube Greens. If you have seen me use flowers on a cake, you have seen me use their flowers. They are so, so great. And so I told them I wanted like flowers with some longer stems and then also some herbs to make it look really like, so we're gonna try to make it look even more wild and free. I wonder if this chervil is gonna stick up well. Only one way to find out. I love it. It's giving dirt, it's giving garden, it's giving spring, it's giving barnkalas. This is so good. I have made a mess. This cake is a mess in the best way possible. I'm so excited. The only thing I want to do now is transfer it to where it's actually going to live so I can put a little bit more dirt around it because it's not going to live on this guy. So got to clean up a little bit as well. This is driving me insane. Moving cakes is all about having confidence. Beautiful. There we go. And that's a dirt cake for you.
Ett fyrfaldigt lever för Cecilia. Hon lever. Hip hip.
Hurra, 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 hurra! What do you think of the cake? Divide? Okay. Okay. What do you think of the cake?
We're gonna say something else then. Get family on it.
What do you think of the cake?
I love it.
What do you think of the cake? She knows, she's had all of my cakes. It's good. If you want the cake recipe, it is now available on Substack for paid subscribers. And
If you want more short-form vlogs, they are available on @cecilia.talone.com. Sorry, wow, I'm really typing now. @cecilia.talone on both Instagram and TikTok. Otherwise, if you want more vlogs and more recipes, you can follow me here on YouTube. Okay, bye.